faith cultivation. When you are surrounded by your followers and cultivate with them, the followers' cultivation speed will be doubled and the aura cultivated by the followers will replenish the host. And Ning Tong starts smiling after listening to the system. And he is thinking, replenish the host, that is good. There is no shortage of followers. But if I can get the Great Elder too, with his strength, the aura that replenishes me will be even stronger. Then Ning Tong comes down from the peak, and seeing Ning Tong's increased power, the Great Elder becomes very surprised. And he is a little nervous. Then Ning Tong says to the Great Elder, I saw the night sky, and the moonlight tonight is particularly bright. The aura is also abundant. Why don't we cultivate together? Maybe we can gain a lot. Then the Great Elder says to Ning Tong, there's no need, I have somewhere else to be. But the Great Elder is thinking, in former days, the moonlight was the same, what could you gain? Then we see some disciples, who is becoming very happy, and one of the disciples is saying, heavens, the patriarch is amazing. I broke through. And a female disciple says, me too. The patriarch is truly amazing. And as soon as the Great Elder listens to those disciples' words, he becomes extremely happy. And they are thinking, what kind of luck did they have tonight? Not only collective cultivation but even collective breakthrough. And then the Great Elder says to Ning Tong, ahem, since the patriarch has invited me so kindly, I can't refuse. And then, the Great Elder sits down with the disciple to do cultivation. But they are thinking, weird, why don't I feel anything special? Then a disciple says to the Great Elder, you need to shout. The patriarch is the coolest. First, as the heavenly demonic sex Great Elder, I can't say such shameless words. But after listening to that disciple's words, the Great Elder is getting angry. But he raises his hand, and he says, the patriarch is the coolest. And he passionately says, double the aura entering my body? The patriarch is truly the coolest dash. Then we see Ning Tong, which sits down again for cultivation, and a lot of energy is coming out from inside it. And he is thinking, yes, with the aura of the moonlight, the pearl and the power of faith, the effect is indeed greater. And seeing Ning Tong doing cultivation, the Great Elder's eyes become moist. And he is saying happily, with the patriarch here, the heavens have truly blessed our sect. After this the scene shifts. And we see, heavenly demonic palace. And Lu Wuqing is sitting at this place. Then the Great Elder is saying to Lu Wuqing, greetings to the Empress. Forgive me, I am late. Then Lu Wuqing asks the Great Elder, what happened, Great Elder? And the Great Elder explains, replying to the Empress, I followed the patriarch to cultivate at Moonlight Cliff last night, so I was late. And hearing this, another elder is surprised, and he says, with the patriarch? He is only a black warrior realm. Then the Great Elder explains, no, you don't understand. I cultivated with the patriarch, and the aura was more abundant and effective than usual. Then a second man says, although there hasn't been a breakthrough yet, your aura has definitely consolidated a lot. And a third man says, Great Elder, take me with you next time. And Lu Wuqing is a little surprised after listening to his words, and she is saying, this guy didn't come back all night and made such a fuss. Then Lu Wuqing says to all the people present at this place, everyone, let's get back to business. The Tao conference is about to begin soon. At that time there will be countless geniuses coming to our sect. Even if it's a friendly matter, the disciples of the heavenly demonic sect must not fall behind others. Elders, do you understand? And they all say yes after listening to Lu Wuqing. Then, 3 days later, we see that many cultivators are gathering in the heavenly demonic sect. And they all are saying, Great Stone Sect, greeting the heavenly demonic sect. Splitting Mountain Sect, greeting the heavenly demonic sect. Heaven Soaring Sect, greeting the heavenly demonic sect. Shadow Demonic Sect, greeting the heavenly demonic sect. And the disciples are very shocked to see so many cultivators. And one disciple is saying, so many people have come to the conference this time. Then the other disciple says, even the 3 great demonic geniuses are here. That is the genius of the Heaven Soaring Sect, Ling Ao. A genius swordsman, cool and calm, I heard he is the young master of the sect. The chief disciple of the shadow demonic sect, Invincible. He is so vicious that he once slaughtered a whole village on his own. However, the shadow demonic sect and our heavenly demonic sect have always been at odds. It's difficult to say if he's here with good intentions or if there's something else brewing. And then someone enters that place. Seeing what another disciple is saying, it smells nice. And the female disciple is saying, it's the saint of Yaoi. They have no disputes with anyone, they didn't come to the Empress wedding either. But this time, a saint has come. And indeed Saint is looking very beautiful. Then a man welcomes all of those cultivators, and says to them, welcome to the heavenly demonic sect, everyone. I'm Li Changxing, I will take you to the conference stage. And Saint says to that senior brother, I saw many disciples of the heavenly demonic sect cultivating on the cliff peak over there from a distance. May I ask which genius disciple of your sect is on top of the cliff? And the senior tells, oh, that's our patriarch who is leading them. And as soon as he listens to the three seniors, he is thinking, the patriarch, the husband of the empress? And Ling Ao says, just in the spiritual realm. He can't even take care of himself and he is leading others? That's nonsense. Then we see some disciples, who are becoming very happy. And those people are saying, I broke through. The patriarch is truly a god. And a female disciple says, ha ha ha. I broke through. The patriarch is truly a god. And the seniors are saying happily, such a pretense. Then we see Ning Tong, who is leaving, thinking, this chance to improve my skills, how could I miss it? Then we see, conference stage. And many cultivators gather at this place, and all those people are sitting and watching the competition. And one participant breaks a rock very easily. And he is saying happily, the great mountain sect's power is infinite. Please guide me, heavenly demonic sect senior brother. And after listening to him, his brother is smiling and he is saying, of course, junior brother Li. I will gladly guide you. And she shows off her muscular body. Then he punches the rock, and very easily breaks the rock into pieces. And seeing the power of that man, the other man gets very shocked, and he says, I give up. Then we see the great elder, who is laughing very loudly. And next to him is his daughter Lu Wuqing. And the great elder is saying, we have elite disciples, so they will definitely achieve a total victory in this conference. And Lu Wuqing says, don't be too happy, the three most difficult opponents haven't taken the stage yet. Then Ning Tong comes behind Lu Wuqing, and he says to Lu Wuqing, three most difficult opponents? Let me see them? Then Invincible is flying in the air, and he is saying, some people cultivate with the Tao of swords, some with the Tao of music. Each path of the Tao has its own characteristics. I am Invincible, and I don't care about any of them today. Let's just talk about what is Tao. And as soon as the crowd sees Invincible, they all start saying, is the shadow demonic sect here to cause trouble? What is this question even? The Tao is truly mysterious, no one can solve this question. And Invincible is saying, no one has thought of the answer for thousands of years. And at the same time he is thinking, today I will let your heavenly demonic sect get on stage, and not get off. And Lu Wuqing is thinking after listening to Invincible, it is said that if one understands even a bit of the Tao, they can break through without even cultivating. The shadow demonic sect has come prepared today. We then see the elders, who are extremely shocked. And one of the elders is saying, what should we do? Drive him away for cause trouble? And the great elder says, no, in that case, won't our sect lose face? This is what the shadow demonic sect is waiting for. And the second elder says, then should we just admit defeat today and let them slap us in the face like this? Then we see Ning Tong, who is eating an apple. And he is smiling. Then he says to Lu Wuqing, wife, are all the shadow demonic sect disciples sissies like him? Such a pity, just like a woman in men's clothes. And as soon as Ning Tong says this, the reaction on Invincible's face changes. And he thought, to be so close to Lu Wuqing, he must be the patriarch, right? Such a worthless man for her. And the crowd is saying, wow. He hates being called a woman the most. Who is that crazy? If you offend him, you will be in big trouble. Then Ning Tong says, so? No one in the entire heavenly demonic sect can answer me? Then in response Ning Tong says, is such a simple question worthy of being asked at a Tao conference? Ning Tong, who is thinking, he is so calm, does he really have an answer to my question? That's impossible. I have been preparing this question for a long time now. This stupid patriarch is only in the spiritual realm, how could he know? And the great elder is saying, do you know the answer, patriarch? Then Ning Tong says, what is Tao? I don't know what's so difficult about this simple question. Just take a good look. And Ning Tong starts going down rapidly. And he reaches the stage. And seeing Ning Tong, the crowd starts saying, the patriarch has entered the stage. The patriarch has shocked us too many times now. And a female is saying, how will he shock us this time? And Ning Tong says to Ning Tong, I see that you are young, and your level is low. Does the demonic heavenly sect really wish to be as hasty as to send you to answer my question? And Ning Tong says, sometimes, some things are not determined by age. Then we see Ling Ao, which is saying, it's stupid to call this question simple. I suppose he is just talking nonsense. I will now tell you what Tao is. And then Ning Tong starts telling Ning Tong, Tao, it's formless, soundless and scentless. It's vast with no boundaries, and tiny with no space. Tao, it creates all of heaven and earth. It's the whole energy that dominates everything in the world. And the crowd starts getting very surprised after listening to Ning Tong's words. And an old man starts speaking, as expected of the patriarch, his understanding of the Tao is so deep and unfathomable. And the other guy says, why couldn't understand the patriarch's words? And a woman says, regardless, he looks so cool, and Yaoi Saint is thinking, he is worthy of being the legendary patriarch. He stabilized the situation with just 2 sentences. And after listening to Ning Tong's explanation, Ning Tong tells him, do you think you can get away with it by spouting some words that no one understands? And Ning Tong says to him, what are you talking about? Hey, it's bad to be that uneducated. Listen carefully. For you, there won't be a lesson like this again. There are 3,000 paths, each of which have their own understanding. Take the sword Tao for example. This path uses the sword intent. It is the swordsman's understanding of the sword. If the person who is practicing swordsmanship understands sword intent, he can be said to have understood the sword Tao. By analogy, what is Tao? I don't need to explain them one by one, right? What the patriarch is saying is that there are 3,000 kinds of Tao among those paths, right? Every one of them is unique in its own way? And the crowd gets very shocked after hearing Ning Tong's explanation. And Ning Tong further explains, the Tao is simply the path you choose. Among the 3,000 paths, when you succeed in cultivating one, the Tao is already in your heart. Otherwise, how could you succeed in cultivation? Then, the crowd gets very excited after hearing this. And they all start saying, I get it. The patriarch's words have enlightened me and solved all my issues. I am going to break through. Ning Tong along with the crowd gets very shocked after hearing Ning Tong's words. And he is saying, it can't be, it's impossible. To cultivate the Tao, to understand the Tao is in the heart. If it was that simple, I would have. And then, after listening to Ning Tong's words, Ning Tong makes a breakthrough. And he becomes even more shocked. And Ning Tong is smiling, and he is saying, he doesn't admit it with his mouth but his body is honest. At the same time Ning Tong is thinking, I didn't expect that my casual talk could shock these talented people, they must be easy to fool. And then Ning Tong gets a notification from the system, and the system says, you are shocked. Everyone present. Bonus skill card, Great Emperor Strike. Great Emperor Strike. You can use the strike of a peak Immortal Emperor Realm. After use, the skill card becomes invalid. And seeing the system notification, Ning Tong is thinking, the strike of a peak Immortal Emperor Realm Cultivator. If I encounter a powerful enemy whose realm has several stages higher than mine, this is equivalent to having a life-saving trick. And the Great Elder is very shocked, and he is saying, in the past, one wise thought from him shook the hearts of many talents. And now, He cleared up everyone's doubts. Having such a patriarch is truly a rare blessing for us. But Lu Wuqing is watching Ning Tian's moments carefully. Then Yin Sanshur says to Ning Tian, I admit, it is my loss today. And saying this, Yin Sanshur starts leaving the stage. And the crowd is saying, the patriarch of the heavenly demonic sect is amazing. But while Yin Sanshur is saying, the plan failed, so the sect leader has to make a move. Humph. So what if you can answer it? After I return to the sect, you and your sect will suffer a huge loss of face. After this, Ling Ao says to Ning Tian, the heavenly soaring sect, Ling Ao. Please guide me, patriarch. And Ling Ao comes on stage. Then he says, I wish to discuss the sword Dao. And seeing Ling Ao in front of Ning Tian, the crowd starts saying, the show is starting. Ling Ao is the most powerful among these three geniuses, and his strongest point is swordsmanship. Can the patriarch still stand victorious? And Ning Tian says to Ling Ao, bring it on. At the same time Ning Tian is thinking, great. Just in time to test the martial arts given by the system. Then Ling Ao takes his sword out of its sheath, and he is saying, the shadow sword in my hand is a treasure-grade weapon. And he attacks Ning Tian with the sword. And seeing this the crowd starts saying, heavens! In the entire heavenly spirit domain, the treasure weapon is one of the most powerful. The sect leader really values him giving him such a sword. Treasure grade? Is that so powerful? Weapons of the domain are generally divided into 5 grades. Magic weapon, spiritual weapon, treasure weapon, immortal weapon, and artifact. I heard there are grades above artifacts, but no one has seen them. And Ning Tian starts smiling after listening to the crowd. And he is thinking, I see. However, the weapon is secondary, its effectiveness still depends on its user. And Ling Ao turns his sword towards Ning Tian. Then he says, patriarch, why don't you have a sword? If you don't, how can we discuss the sword Dao? And Ning Tian says, I don't have one. And hearing this the crowd wants to give their weapons to Ning Tian. And those people are saying, patriarch, I have a good one. And the other man says, use mine, patriarch. Mine is good, it's a spiritual weapon. Then we see that energy starts coming out from inside Ning Tian, which is thunder. And Ning Tian is saying, although I have no physical sword, I have other ones. And as soon as Ling Ao feels Ning Tian's aura, he gets extremely shocked. And he is saying, aura turning into a sword, your swordsmanship has reached complete perfection. And we see that because of Ning Tian's power, a thunder dragon has been formed. And Ning Tian is saying, sword intent dragon. And Ning Tian attacks Ling Ao with the dragon. And Ling Ao gets very nervous after seeing this. Then the crowd is saying, such a fierce sword intent. It's like a blue dragon bursting out of the mountain plar, it's incredible. Then Ning Tian apologizes to Ling Ao and says, sorry, my hand slipped. Even if I have understood sword immortal practice to master it. And Ling Ao is very nervous. And he is saying, the sword intense patriarch and I have mastered are not at the same level at all. There's really always someone better. Patriarch, I surrender. In this exchange I've lost. And as soon as the crowd hears Ling Ao saying that he has accepted defeat, they all become very happy. And they all are saying, he won. I know it. The patriarch would definitely win. He actually defeated the most powerful genius of the demonic path. The patriarch is truly strong. And Ling Ao starts leaving the stage. And while leaving he is saying, Yaoi Saint, will you come next? And seeing Ling Ao leaving, Ning Tian is thinking, I at least got the chance to fight with someone and test the sword's intent. Then we see Yaoi Saint, which is speaking to Ning Tian, patriarch, I'm not here to discuss Dao, I'm here to. And as soon as Yaoi Saint says this, purple-colored energy starts coming on the stage, seeing which Ning Tian gets surprised. And he's thinking, this is bad, my aura is being suppressed. I can't move. Damn it. And due to that energy, Ning Tian's power starts getting suppressed. And he comes on the stage by the hair of his knees. And he's thinking, it's an immortal Emperor Realm cultivator. But it can't be the Lu Wuqing. Who is it?